Hi, this is Thunder from Booredatwork.com, and today we're doing a roundup of MWC 2012 Day 1, which is World Mobile Congress, currently going on in Barcelona. Of course, there were a slew of announcements from all the major manufacturers on new cell phones, tablets, and all that fun stuff, so let's get right into it. First company we'll talk about is Samsung. Samsung had a small presence this year at MWC. No announcements of the Galaxy S3, which they said will come later, but it did announce a couple of devices at the show. The first was the Samsung Galaxy Beam. The Beam is a smartphone and projector. The Beam runs Android 2.3, with a single-core, dual-core processor. It does have an integrated projector of 15 lumens brightness that can project high definition image up to 50 inches. Got a 4-inch display. It also has a 2,000 milliamp battery. It has a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera, 5 megapixel rear camera. So this is more of convergence device of a different sort, which Samsung announced at the show. Another device that they did announce is the Samsung Galaxy Tab 2 10.1. The 10.1 Galaxy Tab is a successor to the original Galaxy Tab, but it's more of an upgrade than anything else. This sports a 1280 by 800 LCD display, Super AMOLED LCD display, so better than the 1020 by 700 from the 7-inch. You do also have a larger battery at 7,000 milliamps, running Android 4.0 with TouchWiz interface on there. So that was also announced by Samsung. So that's pretty much it. Nothing big from Samsung. Next company at the show was Viewsonic. Viewsonic had a slew of devices, a couple of smartphones and tablets. They announced the Viewsonic Phone 4E. 4E is a 3.5-inch, basically an entry-level device. It has a screen resolution of 480 by 320, 3-megapixel camera, runs Android 2.3 on the device. It's a dual SIM Android device, so any of this dual SIM individuals out there, this is a device that definitely look at. It has a 650 megahertz CPU, and it's a nice little entry-level device from Viewsonic. Their flagship device they announced is the Viewsonic Phone 4S. The Phone 4S has an IPS display, a 5-megapixel camera, running Android 4.0, of course, with its own custom skin, same as with the 4A, which has a custom skin. It's a dual SIM device also, and also has a what they call the Viewsonic 3D launcher. So it has a 3D launcher which can take up to 16 panels in the 3D view. So definitely interesting little device from Viewsonic. Another company that came out with some pretty cool announcements is Huawei. Huawei first enough announced its new ingrown home quad-core processor, which is dubbed the K3V2 chip. Now that chip will be in the Huawei devices. One device they did show was the Huawei MediaPad 10, which is the 10-inch counterpart to the 7-inch MediaPad announced last year. What's pretty cool about this tablet is, besides having the quad-core processor, it does have a 10-inch 1080p IPS display. Not 720, 1080p IPS display, 8-megapixel camera. Of course, Wi-Fi and all that fun stuff. Not much was mentioned about that, but that was shown at the show. Another device that they did show was the Huawei Ascend D-Quad. The D-Quad is a smartphone that runs Android 4.0, actually runs stock Android 4.0, no custom skin on there. It does have a 720p display, it's an IPS display, sports a 1.5 quad-core processor, the K3V2 from Huawei itself, has an 8-megapixel rear camera. It also, and that houses an 1800 milliamp battery. They also have a slightly bigger version of the Ascend D-Quad called the Ascend D-Quad XL. The XL, similar specs, everything, except it has a 2300 milliamp battery in there. Of course, those cameras shoot at 1080p, so Huawei is really trying to step up its game and bring something fresh and new to the market. Sony also had a presence at MWC and made some announcements today with two devices, the Xperia P and the Xperia U. The Xperia U has a 3.5-inch reality display, which also has a 1 gigahertz dual-core processor, a 5-megapixel camera, and capable of 2D to 3D image capture. Sony also announced the Xperia P, which has a 4-inch white magic display, which offers twice the brightness of a regular screen, and it's viewable in outdoors. Also has a 1 GHz dual core processor, 8 megapixel camera with HD recording, of course it's 1080p, NFC, HDMI out, an aluminum casing, and also Sony promises that these devices will be upgradable to Android 4.0. Right now they will launch with Android 2.3. So that's it from Sony. So LG was also at the show, and we already knew ahead of time what LG had to offer, but just to give you guys a quick rundown of LG's products at the show. LG showed off the LG Optimus Vu, VU actually, which is a 5-inch 4.3 aspect ratio device, similar to basically competing to the Samsung Galaxy Note. Also comes with its stylus of sorts. It does have a 5-inch IPS LCD display. It has a 2080 milliamp battery, so you should get good battery life. A 1.5 dual core processor. It has an 8 megapixel camera, of course, records at 1080p, and the phone is LTE capable. So the View is basically LG's answer to the Samsung Galaxy Note. LG also announced the LG Optimus 3D Max, which is successor to the Optimus 3D that came in last year. Now, the 3D Max actually runs Android 2.3 on there, still on the device, but LG said it will be upgradable to Android 4.0. It does have NFC capability, has a HD IPS display, and also has 3D editing on the phone, so that's something on there. And finally, LG announced the Optimus excuse me, the Optimus 4X HD. The 4X HD technically is the successor to the LG Optimus 2X that came out last year, which actually, this device sports a quad-core processor in there, which is the Tegra 3 from Intel. Also has a HD display, the HD IPS display. It's got a 8 megapixel camera, which records at 1080p. Also has NFC capabilities. And this will be LG's one of LG's flagship devices at the show. So HTC also came out at MWC, streamlining their product line, and actually announced the flagship product statement called HTC One, similar to how Samsung has the Galaxy line of devices. Now the HTC One, they announced 3 devices. Now the flagship device is the HTC One X. The One X basically features a 4.7-inch Super LCD 2 device, which is a 720p display, which has an 8 megapixel camera and actually has HTC's own imaging chip. So they claim that this has the lens of the camera has a f2.0 lens in there, so wide angle lens. It takes pictures in less than 0.2 seconds, and it's got this 5-layer flash, which actually is supposed to be very, very good. Records at 1080p. Also comes with Sense 4.0. Beats audio in there, and actually will come in 2 variants. The US variant, which is coming exclusively to AT&T, will sport an Snapdragon S4 processor at 1.5 gigahertz, which is basically a processor that supports LTE. And then the international version, especially the ones going to Asia and Australia, which is called the XL, which will sport a Tegra 3 processor, basically a quad-core processor in there. So that's the X1 from HTC. HTC also announced the One S. The One S is a 4.3-inch QHD Super AMOLED display device, which is only 7.9 millimeters thick, so it's a very thin device, coming to the T-Mobile network. Will support T-Mobile's 42 megabit per second broadband network, so you're getting some very good speeds on there. Also carries the S4 dual core processor in there. This will have an 8 megapixel camera, similar camera with the f2.0 lens in there. This will also be an Android 4.0 device coming to the T-Mobile network, and the camera also has its own imaging chip. So HTC also announced the HTC One V, which is actually an entry-level smartphone that has ice cream sandwich Android 4.0 with Sense 3.6 on the device. It does come with 4 gigabytes of onboard memory, but also you will get 25 gigabytes of storage on Dropbox. It has 512 megs of RAM. It does have a 1500 milliamp battery and a 5 megapixel camera with an f2.0 lens, and records at 720p. So even though it's a budget phone, it seems seems like it packs a lot. So that's pretty much it for all the announcements at MWC today. It's a lot of cool stuff. It looks like you know, different players came out with different things. HTC looked to rebrand themselves and have a central device or central branding that actually would push its name out there. And it looked like they came out pretty solid with 3 devices that cover the low end, the mid range, as well as top range products. Sony, on the other hand, came out with 2 devices that were more mid to low range with the Xperia P and Xperia U, although they run Android 2.3. LG, of course, we knew what LG was coming out with, so we saw a couple of the devices on hand at the show. Samsung really didn't have any presence, and Viewsonic, of course, mentioned a few things, but Huawei, I think, was one of the companies that really came out to impress, especially with its own processor and also what they dubbed the fastest smartphone out there with the Ascend D line. So that's pretty much it today from MWC 2012. You guys can check out the links. We have the press releases down there, so you can check out the full specs for all the devices that we mentioned. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our brand new channel, Board Fam. As we announced over the weekend, we have the link up here, which you can see throughout the video. To just hit to subscribe, Board Fam, and also subscribe and follow us at Board at Work. So this is Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy entertainment.